Soldier Boy.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly.
It's quite amazing that by the third season of this already undeniable, iconic show, built around strong personalities like Homelander and Butcher, the creators managed to introduce a character who in just a few episodes became a fan favorite. One could even say he outshined the aforementioned duo. We are obviously talking about Soldier Boy, played by Jensen Ackles. How did the creators pull that off? First of all, Soldier Boy brought a breath of fresh air into the series. He's a character from a completely different era. Of course, he's a parodic version of Captain America, a super soldier who fought in World War II, who served as a symbol of freedom until the 80s, then was cryogenically frozen and returns to the modern world. His behavior totally clashes with the rest of the crew, which not only builds a contrast, but creates opportunities for comedy. That classic trope always worked. The reaction of pre-internet era person to today's world.
The internet?
You made those words up.
His reaction to gay couples, which by the way sparked controversy among activists and accusations of homophobia direct in the actor, as he would probably respond,
Knock, knock. Who's there? Go your face.
Okay.
and that's it. In fact, his reactions to literally everything, like his age-appropriate choices of women and his rage over discussion of his favorite sauce,
Where's the Chopsaki Oriental sauce?
humanize him. Thanks to these traits, he also won over older viewers, those who grew up before TikTok, and that's something that creators didn't quite tap into with Captain America. Steve Rogers adapted too quickly to the modern world. Soldier Boy, he looks at it all with genuine disgust. His behavior and appearances resemble the old-school tough guy archetype. The creators have openly mentioned being inspired by figures like Steve McQueen and John Wayne, classic icons whose fanbases practically built themselves. It was similar with Billy Hargrove in Stranger Things. And let's not forget Ackles. This guy charisma sells every one of Soldier Boy's lies with a full conviction. This isn't a caricature, it's a flesh and blood character. He's a tough guy, sure, but he has principles. No hidden agendas. No, I want to take over the Vought. He just wants revenge on the team that betrayed him. That's it. And the best part? He's actually reasonable. Seriously, in a world where Homelander kills people for bringing him warm coffee, Soldier Boy, tough, brutal, impulsive, and toxic, actually listens. When Huey and Butcher tells him what they want, he says, okay, let's do it. And he keeps his word. And here comes the compression. Why Homelander is a psychopath who'd happily murder a child for a bad look, Soldier Boy, well, he's an asshole, but an asshole with a code. You know what to expect from him. He doesn't pretend to be saint. And the moment that really won fans over, for 2.5 seasons Homelander was untouchable. Everyone feared him. Even those who hated him the most didn't dare to speak up. And then Soldier Boy walks in, tells him to his face what he thinks, and is not just telling him, but beats him down. And we get that glorious scene. Homelander, pinned to the wall, eyes glows like a scared dog, and then he runs. That was the moment. Every viewer dream come true. From a narrative standpoint, Soldier Boy brings something crucial to the table, a third force in the conflict. Until now, it was the boys versus the supes, Butcher and his crew versus Homelander and his circus. And suddenly, here comes someone who threatens both sides. And the game begins. Who will win over him? Now, let's stop and talk about his role as a villain, because many people don't see him that way, and maybe for a good reasons. Take his most brutal scene, abusing Noir. It's shown as an animation, a visual hallucination, so our brain doesn't fully associate it with an Ackles character. You see Soldier Boy in a flashback beating up teammate, causing brain damage, but it's present in a way that distances us from a brutality. Coincidence?
I think not!
We also get a twist. Homelander is his son. But it's not random. In the boys' universe, it makes sense. Vought created the perfect hero from a genes of a previous perfect hero. And natural consequences. No, oops, I made a baby nonsense. Which is good. It would have been cheap. Instead, it's believable. And now things get complicated. Soldier Boy already has alliance with Butcher and Huey, but suddenly discovers Homelander is his son. So, what now? Homelander pulls his final card, Ryan, a bit like Game of Thrones. And then the tension builds. The climax is well constructed. Soldier Boy, despite everything, decides to keep his word to Butcher and kill Homelander, because he despises him too. And okay, that works, but honestly, there was a room for more. His decision is justified with literally one line. I saw the posters of you. Wearing a cape is a joke. Really? That's a big confrontation between two generations of super soldiers, father and son. We deserve something deeper, more personal. Anything to show that Soldier Boy is not just a failed project in Homelander, but the total corruption of the values he once stood for. Then, his choice to destroy him despite blood ties would have hit harder. Sure, he hates what the world has become, but he despises Homelander because he symbolized everything that went wrong. The viewer starts rooting for Soldier Boy. Butcher, who spent the whole season saying blood doesn't matter, suddenly changes his mind because it's about his adoptive son. And all of a sudden, everything Soldier Boy said starts sounding more reasonable than Butcher's slogans. Soldier Boy keeps his words, he's honorable, willing to sacrifice everything to fix things, including his own son and grandson. And Butcher? Well, he comes off as a hypocrite. And even Soldier Boy calls him out on it.
Everything you wanted, he's right there. And now you blink?
And that's when you start realizing he was the only normal one in this whole messed up world. Not Vought, not the boys, not Homelander, Soldier Boy. And let's not forget his power scaling is very balanced. He wipes the floor with a Butcher V, Kimiko, Starlight. But his weakness, PTSD and gas, uncontrollable explosions make him beatable. He's not a godlike, just extremely dangerous. In summary, Soldier Boy brought a breath of fresh air to the show. A force strong enough to challenge the untouchable Homelander, a retro perspective, and brutal honesty. Add to that a great actor, a strong motivation, a consistent writing, and we get a fan favorite. Now the only question is, what's next? With a character like this, Soldier Boy has a massive potential in the final season. A relationship with his son, maybe even a grandson? We'll see. But one thing's for sure, this guy hasn't sent the last word yet.